So we know that one of the things that teachers hate more than any other is when their students become red pilled. Now, teachers oftentimes assume that this is them getting sucked into the alt-right rabbit hole on the evil interwebs, but more often it's actually just their parents passing on their values to the students and trying to counteract whatever it is they're being taught in school. I actually covered this article from 8 months ago. The kids are alt-right when your star pupil gets red-pilled. And this is a whole article of just teachers whining and complaining about what happens when kids are taught something different outside the classroom than they're taught in the classroom. But of course, they even admit that a lot of times it has nothing to do with actual, alt-right radicalization. It just has to do with the parents. Often it's hard for teachers to tell whether a student is being truly red-pilled in the sense that they are being radicalized online, or they're just parroting views they've grown up with in conservative households. Yeah, because there's really no difference between radicalization and just having conservative parents, at least in the minds of teachers. We also know that teachers have been demanding that parents don't look over the shoulders of their children to actually see what they've been learning in classrooms. This was from Fox News back last August. Tennessee mom says parents asked to sign ridiculous waiver that they will not eavesdrop on their kids' online lessons. What are they trying to hide? What is the problem? Why won't they let us sit in? Well, that is a very good question indeed. What exactly is it that the schools are hiding that they don't want parents to see what their students are learning? Well, now we know. Now we know that schools are actually going the extra mile to downright lie to parents about what is being taught in the classroom. School district tells parent principals to create fake curriculum to send parents after complaints of indoctrination. Prior to the pandemic, you didn't send everything home or have it available. You taught it in your classroom. Things were peachy clean. We're going old school. So what they're saying is, before the pandemic, it was easy for us to hide what we were teaching. Now parents have access to what their kids are learning. Oh no, we have to create fake curriculum to fool the parents who think that their kids are being indoctrinated. Now, here is the good news in this whole affair. People who have been jumping up and down, screaming about the threat of critical race theory, from James Lindsay to Chris Rufo to people like me to all the people who have been just beating this drum relentlessly about what is going on in the schools. This means that we're winning. This means that we're actually finally creating momentum in our favor. Listen, over the weekend, there was a school board election in Dallas that elected the anti-CRT demographic of parents. They won by 40%. They won by 40 points. And of course the news is covering this this anti-diversity training parents in a bitterly contested. No, it was not bitterly contested. It wasn't even close. The school board that was elected won by 40 points, and they're against critical race theory. And this is exactly the type of confrontation that has started to ensue between parents and schools, because the schools are lying to the parents and the parents are discovering it, and then they're going like this. And this is just the latest example. So we're going to read this article and I'm going to tell you what I think it means. But before we jump into that, guys, I know most of you are watching me on YouTube right now, but really the very best place to watch my videos is actually my Locals community. Now, Locals is great because A, you don't have to watch ads on the videos. You get them scot-free, unlike however many umpteen ads YouTube has placed on this video. You get the videos completely ad-free in my Locals. You also get a supportive community where we know we're not going to be censored. We know we're not going to be banned. You just got to be good to one another. Every point of view is welcome to join, whether you're left, right, center. I don't really care. If you're interested in pushing back on this woke critical race theory ideology, then you are more than welcome in my Locals community. All the information is right down below. Locals is free to join, but if you want access to all of the features and be able to participate in different activities we do, you got to pony up $5 a month. That $5 helps support my work. It also helps support the community, and it keeps it a place where we don't have trolls. And it's so nice. We just don't have to worry about all the nasties that are on the normal internet. Now, one reason you might want to join is we do actually have a book club coming up. We have the Rules for Radicals book club, which we are actually reading the book together right now because it is important to know what the enemy thinks. And we're going to be getting together for a Zoom discussion of the book on May 23rd. So you have plenty of time to get connected, join in my locals, get the book, read the sections of it that you want to read, hopefully all of it, and then we can come together and have a good rousing discussion on it. And I'll be honest, guys, what is in this book is terrifying. This is the playbook that they're using. This is the playbook that people like this have been using for the past 40 years. We need to understand it if we're going to effectively fight back. So go grab your copy of Rules for Radicals, like check it out of the library or find a free PDF on the internet. If you don't want to buy it, I don't really care. But read the book and then join us on May 23rd. We're going to have a discussion of it together and talk about what we need to do with all of this new information. All right, let's take a look at this article from the Daily Wire. Faced with complaints from parents about the indoctrination of children, an official in Rockwood School District, Missouri, instructed teachers to create 2 sets of curriculum. A false one to share with parents, and the real set of curriculum focused on topics like activism and privilege, according to a memo obtained by the Daily Wire. Natalie, a literacy speech coordinator, wrote to all middle and high school principals that parents had repeatedly complained that we are pushing an agenda. We are pushing critical race theory. I had to look this one up. We're making kids feel bad about their privilege. We are stereotyping. We are teaching kids to be social activists, and we are teaching kids to be democratic thinkers and activists. The problem was that, for the first time, parents could see what teachers were telling their children thanks to virtual learning where assignments were visible for at-home learners in a tool called Canvas. So I guess these parents didn't sign that little waiver that Tennessee school was demanding, telling them don't look at what your children are learning. Here's the solution. That doesn't mean throw the lessons out and find a new one. Just pull these resources off Canvas so parents cannot see it. Keep teaching. Just don't make it all visible. This is not being deceitful. This is just doing what you have done for years. I mean, this is like really saying the quiet part out loud. Prior to the pandemic, you didn't send everything home or have it available. You taught it in your classroom and things were peachy keen. We are going old school. So they're literally saying it's totally fine to teach this stuff that the parents are telling you not to teach their kids. As long as the parents don't know about it, what the parents don't know won't hurt them. You could duplicate an entry lesson in Canvas, making 2 copies, publish one for the whole class that is a lean version of the lesson. The original that has all the stuff on it can be published and only assigned to specific students if needed, or you could specifically email these students a copy of what they need. They're literally telling them, just work around the parent, just go directly to the student, only make it available to the student. Like, this is nuts. The reason I say make a copy, you can publish the new one that has less information on it. Then for that kid who is all virtual and needs the full lesson, you can publish it and assign it only to that kid. Anything that could be picked apart, I suggest you use this approach. Again, I wouldn't throw it out, but you could just not give them access to the story. When you get into power imbalances, which is a critical race theory word, you might remove the 2 examples and just go over them in class. Same as above. I hate that we are having to have this conversation 29 days and counting. She referred to a cell of parents and claimed that they did not know the difference between a small d Democratic county and the Democratic Party. In addition to serving as the school's administrator in Rockland, in 2018, Fowler was elected to the school board. Oh, good. Of a nearby district, illustrating the way in which apathetic voters often elect those whose interests are with the teachers rather than with the parents in little scrutinized school board races. Shelley Willett, Assistant Superintendent of Learning and Support Services, expressed regret to parents after they found out about the secret email. Yesterday, an email was sent to middle and high school English language arts teachers from a district-level staff member that suggested teachers hide or alter content visible to parents in our learning management system. We want to assure you that the message was not reviewed or approved by anyone before it was sent. Asking teachers to conceal anything from parents does not reflect our mission, vision, values of the Rockwood School District and is counter to the goals set forth in our strategic plan, The Way Forward, she wrote. The April 23rd message said that the school district views parents as allies in the education of our children. Well, their children, actually, as it turns out. We regret that this has happened for many reasons, but mostly because it impacts the trust that is crucial for our partnership to be successful. Although we cannot share specifics related to a personnel matter, we can assure you that we find the email unacceptable, and it is certainly being addressed. District spokesperson David told the Daily Wire that in an attempt to restore trust, it would continue to post classroom materials online where parents could see it even after coronavirus-triggered distance learning ended, since the technology is set up. Well, how nice of them to continue to post those materials online. So listen, folks, the moral of the story here is you've got to get involved with your kids' schools. I know it's boring. I know you don't want to go to the school board meeting. I know, but you need to get involved and see what they're learning. You need to watch what your kids are learning and doing for homework. You need to make sure you're talking with the teachers. You need to make sure that they are aware that you are paying attention, because right now they're afraid that they're not going to be able to continue doing this little indoctrination nonsense, and they're going to try to get away with things just like this. I see this all the time where parents call the schools and they're like, "Are you teaching my kids critical race theory?" And the schools are like, No, we're not teaching them that. I don't know why you would ever think such a thing. And then, like, a week later, we get documents from the school that shows exactly what they're teaching, which is absolutely critical race theory. So they're calling it something else. They're using different words. They're going to lie to you. In most cases, they are, in fact, teaching this stuff to your students. I spend all days looking at this curriculum, and I look at it especially from schools that are like, no, we're not doing any of this stuff, because almost all of them are. So keep an eye on what your kids are learning, man. If you aren't going to do it, then who else will? All right, guys, that's all I've got for this one. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe and to do all the YouTube things to feed that little YouTube algorithm. I really appreciate it. That's all I have for right now. I'll see you soon.